Every night, Okinawan centenarians do something most of us have never even thought about. They close the kitchen with a cup of tea. Not because they're tired, not because it tastes good, because that one cup is actually a signal to their body that eating is done and the real work is about to begin. Scientists call it autophagy, basically your cells cleaning out damage overnight. But here's the thing, it only kicks in after about 12 hours without food. And that tea? It's the ritual that makes the fast actually stick. So most people think staying healthy is a daytime job. Eat the right things, move your body, drink enough water. And yeah, that stuff matters. But there's a whole separate process that only runs at night, and most of us are accidentally blocking it every single evening without knowing it. Your body has basically a night shift cleaning crew. The scientific name for what they do is autophagy. What it means is your cells go through themselves, find the parts that are worn out or damaged, break them down, and recycle them. It's happening at the cellular level, so you don't feel it, you can't see it, but it's doing real work. Think of it like the janitors coming into an office after everyone leaves for the day. They can't really clean while people are still sitting at their desks. They need the place to empty out first. Here's the catch, though. Your body works the same way. Every time you eat something, even something small, your body shifts into digestion mode. Insulin goes up, energy gets redirected toward breaking down that food, and the repair crew just sits there waiting. They're clocked in, they're ready, but they can't start because the kitchen is still technically open. A handful of crackers at 9 p.m. does this. A small snack while you're watching something does this. Even something you'd barely think of as eating can reset the whole clock. And the clock matters a lot. Dr. Yoshinori Osumi won the Nobel Prize in 2016 for his research on autophagy, and what his work showed is that this repair process doesn't really ramp up until about 12 hours after your last meal. And it hits a deeper, more significant level somewhere around 16 hours. That's not some extreme fasting protocol. That's just overnight, if you actually stop eating early enough in the evening. The Okinawan Centenarian study, which started tracking the oldest people in Okinawa back in 1975, found that these people had dramatically lower rates of cancer, heart disease, and diabetes compared to almost any other population researchers were looking at. We're talking 80% fewer cases of certain cancers, and researchers kept digging for the specific food that was doing it. Some nutrient, some ingredient. But the pattern that kept coming up wasn't about a particular thing they were eating. It was about when they stopped. So the real question is, what gets people to actually stop eating after dinner? Because in most places, especially now, people don't stop. There's something at 9, something at 10, something while scrolling before bed. Each one of those pushes the clock back. The janitors keep waiting, and by the time you wake up, you might have only gone 6 or 7 hours without food, which isn't close to enough time for the repair crew to do anything meaningful. This is where Okinawa gets really interesting. Not because of what's on their dinner plates, but because of what happens right after dinner. There's a specific nightly ritual that works almost like a biological off switch. It closes the eating window in a way that's consistent, that's repeatable, and that doesn't require sitting there fighting cravings for 3 hours. The reason Okinawan centenarians keep hitting that 12 to 16-hour repair window night after night isn't some iron willpower. It's that they have something that makes stopping feel natural. And it starts with a specific cup of tea. When people hear Okinawan longevity tea, they usually picture something you'd have to order online from some specialty supplier that costs too much and arrives in a tiny bag. But the teas Okinawans actually drink before bed are sitting right there in most grocery stores. You've probably walked past them without a second thought. The main ones are jasmine tea, green tea, and sanpin, which is just a jasmine green tea blend that's been common in Okinawa for centuries. Some households also use turmeric tea, especially later in the evening. And these aren't random choices that just happen to stick around. Each one is doing something specific. Green tea has catechins in it, which are a type of polyphenol. Research has linked catechins to lower inflammation and better metabolic function. One compound specifically, EGCG, has been studied for how it interacts with the same cellular pathways that autophagy runs through. It's not going to trigger autophagy on its own, but it seems to support the conditions where autophagy can actually happen. So you're not just drinking hot water. There's something in there that's working with the process, not against it. Turmeric tea brings curcumin in, which has a solid amount of research behind it for reducing inflammation. But honestly, in the context of an evening ritual, the more relevant thing about turmeric tea is simpler than that. It's warm, it's slightly bitter, and it has basically no calories. So it gives you something to consume without actually giving your digestive system anything to process. The clock doesn't reset. The janitors keep working. Here's the thing though. The compounds in the tea are real, but they're probably not the main reason this works. The bigger effect is behavioral. When you're sipping something warm and slightly bitter, and you do it the same way every night, it sends a signal. Your brain starts to read it as, this is the last thing. We're done now. The kitchen is closed. That's not a small thing. That's actually the mechanism most people are missing when they try to extend their overnight fast and just end up white-knuckling it until they give in and grab something. There's research showing warm beverages reduce appetite. Some of it has to do with temperature. Some of it is just the act of slow sipping, which takes time and creates a feeling of completion. And when you're sitting there holding a cup and drinking it slowly, you're physically not opening the fridge. You're not standing in the kitchen looking for something. The ritual creates a barrier that willpower alone usually can't hold up. Jasmine specifically does something else too. It's been studied for mild anxiety-reducing effects. It promotes calm, takes the edge off a little. And that matters at night because a lot of late-night eating isn't actually about hunger. It's stress, it's boredom, it's just habit. Jasmine tea works on the emotional side of that, not just the physical urge to eat. Okinawans also drink this at the same time every night, usually right after cleaning up from dinner. And that consistency is doing real work. A habit tied to a specific cue, finishing dinner, washing dishes, sitting down with tea, runs almost automatically. You don't have to decide to do it. The whole thing is actually pretty simple. Autophagy runs every night for free, and your body already knows how to do it. The only thing standing between you and 12 to 16 hours of cellular repair is that gap between dinner and when you actually stop eating. And that gap is usually just snacking that has nothing to do with being hungry. 1 cup of tea, same time every night right after dinner. Not because the tea is magic, but because it closes the kitchen in a way that actually sticks. Try it for a week and notice how you feel in the mornings.